Hi, very good afternoon to all. My name is Bhavana and our subject is BOM, that is Business Organizational Management. This is for BCom first years in first semester for both general and computer students. In Up to now we discuss what are the different types of theories in management. That is not in syllabus, but for every management student would know what are the different theories in management. They are the three different theories. They are the classical theory, neoclassical theory and modern theories. Classical theory already we discussed, F.W. Tyler, Henry Froel and Max Weber. Next, neoclassical theory, they are some people who can say the management gurus. And in modern theory, there is a quantitative approach, systems approach and conceptual approach. In modern theory is mainly basic on solving our problems. So already we discussed the three theories in a brief way. Next, our topic is scientific management. What is the scientific management? Who gave the scientific management? Who is the father of scientific management? What are the principles followed in this scientific management? In today's concept, we discuss all these topics. Let's see here. The concept of the scientific management was introduced by Frederick Winslow Tyler. Who is the Tyler? Already we discussed in classical management theory. There is a F.W. Tyler. What is F.W.? Frederick Winslow Tyler. He is the father of scientific management. It is an important for this, so please remember who is the father of scientific management. F.W. Tyler. F.W. means Frederick Winslow Tyler is the father of our scientific management. He is the first person who gave importance to the people. He is mainly focused on men rather than machines. So we have to remember who is the father of scientific management. F.W. Tyler, Frederick Winslow. Maybe Frederick Winslow Tyler. You have to be remember F.W. Tyler. It's enough, not for complete name. You can remember F.W. Tyler. He gave main importance to the people. Let's see here. The concept of scientific management was first introduced by the Frederick Winslow Tyler in USA. In USA in the beginning of 20th century. In which century it is also important? In 20th century, F.W. Tyler gave first importance to the people. This concept was further carried on by Frank and Leyland. This concept, what the concept given by F.W. Tyler are further carried by Frank and Gilbert. Frank, Leyland Gilbert, Henry Gant, George Beth, Edward Fallon and others. It is a complete one name. The concept was further carried by the Frank and Leyland Gilbert, Henry Gant, George Beth, Edward Fallon and others. Maybe they are different words. Please wait for 1 minute. I want to check. I think it is a complete one name. The concept was further carried by the Frank and Leyland Gilbert, Henry Gant, George Beth, Edward Fallon. It is complete one name and others. Please remember these names. The concept was further carried on by Frank and Leyland Gilbert, Henry Gant. Here there is a comma. And George Beth, Edward Fallon and others. These people are carry forward the F.W. Tyler's principles. Scientific management was concerned essentially with improving the operational efficiency at the shop floor level. What is the scientific management? Already we discussed. It's mainly focused on our human resource capabilities. So the scientific management was concerned essentially with the improving the operational efficiency. He says they improve our operational efficiency and the shop floor level. Shop floor level means in the organization. It is a terminology. In the organization, the human resource power has to be improved. We have to be improved our efficiency levels. Suppose some organizations are replacing human with machines, but FW Taylor mainly focused we can improve our efficiency than machines. So he says like that, with improving the operational efficiency at the shop floor level. Shop floor level means in our business organization or you can industry, humans can improve their efficiency. Let's see here. The concept of scientific management was introduced by Frederick Winslow Taylor in USA in the beginning of the 20th century. This concept was further carried by Frank and Gilbert, Henry Gaunt, George Bent, Edward Fellon and others. Scientific management was concerned essentially with improving importance to the humans, and humans want to prove our efficiency in the shop floor level. Shop floor level, it is a terminology word in this scientific management, is nothing but in the organization human want to prove their efficiency. This is the introduction and definition. What is the definition? Let's see here. It's very important. What is the definition of scientific management? Maybe they in exams they may ask in short questions. You have to write as it is, as it also you have to write as it is, like comma also. Scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want yours meant to do, and then seeing that they do in the best and cheapest way. What the FW Taylor he mainly stressed about, the men can do anything equal to the machines. So this definition is very important. Scientific management, it is the art of knowing exactly. It is an art, means it is a one type of art, knowing exactly what you want. Knowing yourself, scientific management helps a lot. So first you know yourself, you know your capabilities, you know your efficiency levels. Scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want, you are meant to do, and they seeing that they do in the best and cheapest way. What FW Taylor want to say, men can do anything with equal to the machines, but machines will be very cost, but in the best and cheapest way the man is the best. He want to say the people is the best regarding to the machines, he can do in everything. So we see the art and knowledge of the people, we can encourage that knowledge and they can do in a best and cheapest way. He want to mainly encouraging the men, means people. Men means not here gender, there is no gender discrimination. He encouraged the humans is better than machines. Scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want you were meant to do and seeing that they do in the best and cheapest way. This definition is very important, please note down. And now, what are the principles of scientific management? Which principles we are following in scientific management? Already we discussed in this classical theory, based on our principles only they can solve problems easily. So what are the principles in scientific management? Let's see here. Science, not the rule of thumb. His first principle is science, not the rule of thumb. What is the meaning? Let's see here. These words are the terminology used in scientific principles. The basic principle of scientific management is to adopt a scientific approach to process of making managerial decisions and solving managerial problems. First principle is taking a managerial decisions. Managerial decisions means practical life. There are so many. Already we discussed that the managerial. What is the managerial economics? Managerial economics means solving a critical solutions in practical life and taking a decisions not only for short term, for long term decisions also by using managerial. Managerial is nothing but taking a decision. So making a managerial decisions and solving managerial problems means critical problems we have to solve and right decision we have to take based on our principles. First rule is by following these rules we have to take a right decision and solve our problems easily. Next, harmony nos discord means harmony refers to the unity of actions. What harmony? Harmony means unity. All come together and solve our problems. While discord refers to the difference in approach. Every approach is different from one. Already we see there are three different types of approach: classical, neoclassical and modern. Everything is extension and every opinion is different from others. As a principle of scientific management, it refers to absolutely harmony in the actions of people in order to facilitate the best attainment of organization goal. Means what the FW Taylor says that harmony means unit of action, all come together and discuss and take a right decision. What he is saying, we want unity for solving our problems and take a decision. So for this he used the word harmony, not discord. Discord refers to the difference in approaches. They are different people says different approaches, but all come together and take a right decision and solve our problems very easily. As the principle of scientific management, it refers absolute harmony in the actions of people. Means while you are taking any actions of the people, consider all the people and take a right decision and solve problems easily, in order to facilitate the best attainment of organization goals. His main aim is harmony rather than discord. Discord means different theories are there, but all people are come together and all actions are considered, and for this considering all the people's opinions, take a right decision and solve our problems easily. Next, cooperation, not individualism. They are saying like his principles is completely encouraging the people, not discouraging the people. Cooperation, not individualism. Like you have to cooperate each another, not you have to not give individual power. So come together, all people sit together and talk together and solve problems easily. No individual decisions. He is mainly based on group ideas, group decisions only. Cooperation refers to the development of mutual understanding between employees and management. Of course, cooperation means there is a mutual understanding between the employees and management. Suppose there is a problem in our organization, so management and people come sit together and discuss about the problem and solve about the problem, not taken individual decisions. In order to direct their effects towards the attainment of group objectives, while regarding the individual objectives are subordinate to the general interest. Like individual objectives only give interest to the management. The employees do not involve these problems, but when there is a coordination, come together both management and employees, so we can solve our problems easily. So this is cooperation rather than individualism. If there is any problem in our organization, both management and employees come together and discuss and solve the problem. Groups in individually, only the management has to take, the employees does not enter or interfere in these problems. So when compared to the individualism, cooperation is better. So he says cooperation, not individualism. Next, maximum output instead of restricted output. Means we don't put any restrictions to our employees in the organization. While we want to receive maximum output, don't put restrictions. His principles is very good. See here what he says: harmony, not disgrace; cooperation, not like he's saying one word and saying opposite word too, so it will better understanding. Maximum output instead of restricted output. While we want to achieve maximum output, so we don't want to put any restrictions to the employees. In Taylor's view, most dangerous evil of industrial system was deliberate restrictions of output in order to maximize returns. While we want to increase our maximize returns, we put there a lot of restrictions. But he says don't put the restrictions. Without putting the restrictions only, we can achieve maximum outputs. I hope you understand that. In generally, the business organization will think like that: you put so many restrictions to the employees, then we can earn maximum outputs. But it is completely wrong according to the Taylor's view. He said that put less restrictions, then see you can earn more inputs than previous. In Taylor's view, the most dangerous evil of industrial system was a deliberate restriction. He said it is a very dangerous while putting so many restrictions to the employees. He says please allow free to the employees, then you can achieve more output rather than previous. So his main aim is maximum outputs instead of restrictions output. So when which organization is put less restrictions and they allow employees free to work, that organization will earn more output. His view is like that. Next, development of workers. Management must develop its workers to fullest extent of their capabilities to ensure maximum prosperity of both employees and employers. Development of workers means if you have to give individual training to the people, they can develop their capabilities and also they can increase their efficiency of the work. So not only for organizational goals, for individual increases also we have to provide some training facilities for his development of capabilities. So management must develop their workforce for fullest extent of their capabilities to ensure maximum prosperity for both. Means while increasing the prosperity of the employees, means we have to give some training facilities, we have to learn some skills based in this work organization. So for this we can use their full prosperity of both employers and employees. Next, equal division and responsibility. Equal division of responsibility. This principle recommends a separation of planning from execution. According to him, management should be concerned with the planning of work and workers with this execution. Means equal division of responsibility. Each and every people should be treated equal, and we have to divide equal division of responsibilities and also duties. This principle recommends separation of planning. We have to separate each plan to each individual from execution. According to him, management should be concerned with the planning of work and workers with his execution. So we have to divide the work according equally to all the employees. Then there is an equal, and we have to give equal duties to all the people. So each they can feel, yes, I allotted for this duty, so I have responsible for this, so I should complete the work. So we can create a responsible to each and every individual. So the work will be get very easy and it will be completed in very less time, because we are giving responsibilities as well as duties. Based on that, the employee will feel like that, yes, I allotted for this responsibility, so I want to complete the work within a time. So for this we have to give equal division of work and responsibilities to each and every individual in the organization. Next, mental revolution. According to the Tyler, no scientific management could be successful unless workers and managers learn to cooperate with each other. Mental revolution means mental peace. So we should provide a coordination workforce in the organization. Means we have to maintain a peace, we have to maintain a coordination, cooperate with each other. Then only we get huge inputs, achieve huge profits. Without mental peace, we can't able to achieve our organizational goals. So it is also one of the main principle. Mental revolution means we should maintain a coordination between among all the peoples in an organization. According to the Tylers, no scientific management could be successful unless workers and managers learn to cooperate with each other. These are all the principles given in scientific management by F.W. Tyler. Let's see what are the principles. First, science not rule of thumb, means by using science we can solve managerial problems and take right decisions for these problems. Harmony not discredit, means when there is any problem occur in the organization, all the members come sit together and take a right act. All the people's actions will consider. For this we have to take a right decision for solving our problem. Next, cooperation not individualism. We have to cooperate to each other, come together and discuss each and everything. Then environment will be very friendly and the organization goals also we can achieve freely. Next, maximum output instead of restrictions. While we have to put very less restrictions, then we can enjoy huge output. We can allow the employees freely without less restrictions, then we can enjoy maximum outputs. Putting huge restrictions, we are unable to maximize our outputs. Next, development of the workers by providing some training, some skills, so we can improve the knowledge of the employees and also the maximum prosperity of both employers and employees. Next, equal division of responsibility. Each and every individual in the organization, we have to give equal responsible duties and also duties and responsibilities. Then each and every worker feel like that, yes, I am responsible for this work, so I have to complete the work within the time. For this, each and every employee have complete the work within the time. Next, mental revolution. For the development of an organization, the mental revolution is very useful. Mental revolution means maintain a peace in the organization, maintain a coordination of each and every member in this organization. According to Tyler, no scientific management could be successful. There is no organization will be successful without mental revolution. Mental revolution is nothing but providing a peace in in the organization. We have to maintain coordination and friendly system in between the workers. These are all the principles given by the F.W. Tyler in scientific management. Up to now we discussed different type of theories and about scientific management, definition, meaning, what are the principles. I hope you understand this lecture. If you have any doubt, please let me know. I definitely clarify your doubts. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Study hard.